I'm Rachel, and I do have a certificate in emotional psychology. I picked up this certificate because there were a lot of things affecting me through life, and they weren't being addressed. A few of these things have come to mind, and I find that if you do like science, like I do, we tend to leave behind certain aspects and we address them later in life. I'm 55 already, and I'm looking at situations I should have looked at when I was young, but I had no clue that were happening. One of them is to be aware that there is a process for grieving when you lose a loved one, a friend, you're too young, you go to the church, you know that person is dead, but there's a process. There are impressions that that person gave you. They say that the voice of a dead person lasts about 2 years after they're dead. That's if they haven't had prior experiences that led them to question their mortality. So the process of grieving is addressed by many churches. They have courses. They'll take you through the 12 steps of losing a person. It's not to be ignored. Why? Because those impressions that those people brought to you may disappear and dissipate little by little. There's no induction. And you build a resistance throughout life to accept other impressions. So finding another friend like the one who accepted you, gave you that impression of a rose being beautiful, or gave you the impression that driving isn't difficult and you can get your license, those impressions are important to keep and to restore. As soon as you lose a friend, it is good to try and find another one who may have those impressions already. So from the bottom of my heart, and having worked and I'm retired, I'm telling whoever I can out there, do not ignore the process of grieving. You put a candle, you set the table as if you have your friend with you. You do these little silly, crazy things. You can look into Colombia, Mexico, Europe, India, Asia, and you will find that the process of grieving is important and a lot of people partake in it. You can look at pictures. You can have your inner voice conversation with them. But remember one thing, that voice isn't going to last forever. When you choose your color to wear in the morning, a shirt or even a headband or even like bracelets, or what color chalk you're going to draw something, your friend's impression is worked in there somehow. So please don't ignore grieving. Now, there are other situations that I found that I addressed late in life. There was a preference between siblings within the family, and the parents would give more to some than others. In my family, we were only three. We are three. But there was a preference, and that is perhaps due to nature. However, I discovered that insurances also are going to make you discover who they prefer. Being the third one, and already having a male and female as a son and daughter, my parents could have insured me, they could insure you, and hope you die so they could have money. Don't ignore those situations. There's another situation. For a bottle of wine, the mother will do anything, and the son provides the bottle of wine. It could run into drugs easily. Don't ignore those situations. You can walk out of them, you can leave the house, but eventually you go back to those relationships because they're the only family you have. Some people are strong and can keep away, and they're okay in their mind. Another issue that I hope everybody gets to when they're young enough is addressing what you discover. You discover that your friend has a tendency. You discover that a relationship isn't working out as it's supposed to, and you know exactly why, but you don't say it. There are ways of talking, and if you keep to the law of attraction, you can attract the right words if you provide the right words. So there won't be rejection towards what you're trying to point out. In other words, use good words, have a nice disposition when you point something out, and because of the law of attraction and because of your friend, there will be positive disposition towards your words, and you won't be totally rejected. You will be questioned, of course. So please grieve. Please know that your relationships in a family can be dangerous. If your address books are disappearing and the only people who visited you in your new apartment were your brother, your sister, or your mother and father, doubt them and find out. And do speak from the heart. When you speak from the heart, it always comes to be a message. If you don't have a message, there's no point in talking. Thank you for listening. Namaste.